Welcome. Today we will be doing a 45 minutes long restorative yoga class for tight shoulders. We begin today's class in Savasana. Come on down to your back and make sure you are comfortable. Stretch your arms out wide and legs out wide as well. Prop a pillow or blanket under the head for support. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Allow your arms to grow heavy and belly to rise and fall in a steady rhythm of your breath. Soften your legs. Let those toes drop open and feel the entire body sink into your space. Start to let go of the rest of the day. Put it all aside. Begin to arrive on your mat. Find some more softness, some more ease in your pose. Let the tensions of the day melt away and allow yourself to relax. Notice your breathing. Allow it to slow down. Slow down your inhales and draw out your exhales. Stay here for a few more breaths. Slowly begin to make your way out of Savasana. Start to bring some sensations to the body by moving your fingers, your toes, and rolling out your wrists and ankles. Awaken the body. Walk your feet in a little closer towards the hips and let the knees drop side to side in a careful windshield wiper movement, releasing any tension from the low back. If you'd like to take a big stretch, with your inhale, reach the arms overhead, and with your inhale, stretch from toes to fingertips. Exhale to release. Carefully roll over to one side, come into fetal pose, cradle your head with your arms, with your forearms, and stay here for a few breaths. Carefully make your way out of fetal position. We will start to get ready for our next pose, which is child's pose with a shoulder stretch. Place a blanket under the knees for cushioning if your mat is thin. Begin to come into child's pose. Come on down onto your knees and bring the knees a little wider and set the toes a little closer towards one another. If you find that your hips do not sink in towards your heels, you're welcome to place a block or two under the hips. Another alternative is to place a rolled up blanket or folded up blanket underneath the thighs, in between the thighs and the calves. This provides a little cushioning and it's a little easier on your knees. Once you're in position for child's pose, place your forearms or elbows on your bolster and allow the head to drop in between the biceps so that your head can rest on the floor. If the head doesn't touch the ground, place a block under the head so that you are supported. Once you've arrived in your pose, allow the shoulders to relax and sink deep into this pose. Let the hips grow heavy and focus on those deep breaths. With each exhale, look for softness, look for ease. If you find yourself uncomfortable in this pose, feel free to come out of it and readjust. Try bringing the floor up towards you, looking for support, looking for a pose that allows you to ease into this shoulder stretch. Find stillness. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. As with all our restorative yoga poses, if the body signals to you that you need to come out of this pose, please do so. Listen to the body and modify this pose accordingly. You can do one arm at a time instead of both arms. You will feel the stretch to the front of the arms into the upper chest. You should not feel any pain, and if you do, please come out of the pose and readjust. final few breaths. Be very mindful as you start to make your way out of this pose. You've been here for a while now. Very slowly start to make your way up to seated. Carefully rotate the neck to work out any kinks and roll those shoulders out slowly in one direction and then the next. Slowly make your way out of your child's pose as well. And set up for your next pose, which is going to be a forward bend with bent knees. Place a blanket or a pillow under the hips for cushioning and come into a seated position. Bend your knees and place your feet flat on the ground and grab a hold of the bolster and place it under your thighs. Draw the bolster in as close as you can into the hips so that it is actually pressing against the upper thigh. To come into this pose, start to round through the spine and wrap your hands underneath the thighs, perhaps placing your forehead on your knees. If this is not possible, try to see if you can grab a hold of a block or two to stack it up so that your forehead is actually touching an object. However, don't worry if there is no contact, just let your head hang freely. Think of the shoulder blades. Feel them draw apart from one another. Allow your shoulders to gently round and soften your facial features as you bow forward into your leg. Allow the spine to gently round and stretch the back of the body as you come into this forward bend. Find softness, find ease in this pose. Keep the mind present by focusing on your breath. It is normal and okay for the mind to wander in our restorative practice. However, time and time again, we try to rein it back into the moment. Let the mind tune into your breath, the deep inhales and the slow exhales. Final few breaths. To come out of this pose, carefully start to unfurl your spine. Remove the bolster from under your legs and carefully let the knees drop side to side in gentle windshield, or stretch those legs out and allow your shoulders to roll out, and take those neck stretches once again, allowing the head to just circle side to side very carefully. Perhaps interlace the fingers behind you and press the hands away from the body while projecting the chest up towards the ceiling. We will start to get ready for our next pose, which is a supported fish pose. We're going to try to roll up a blanket so that the blanket can be placed along the shoulder blades, and just allowing for a gentle arch to the spine. Have your shoulders and your underarms just above that blanket, and then see if you can stretch those legs out and enjoy this supported fish pose. Allow your arms to relax, soften the legs, and relax your facial features. If you do not enjoy being in this pose, if the spinal curve is too deep, you can always grab a thinner blanket and roll it up, or a thinner towel and roll it up under the spine instead. If this still doesn't feel good, reposition the blanket or the towels so that the roll is along the length of your spine instead. You can always place an additional blanket or a block under the head for a little support. So a little bit less of a curve to the spine, but still a great chest opener. Feel the muscles right under your collarbone start to stretch in this way. With your arms stretched out about shoulder height, you should feel a really good stretch along the muscles just under the collarbone. If the low back is uncomfortable with the legs stretched out, walk the feet in, let the knees bend and collapse towards one another, and this should support the low back quite nicely. Once you've found the pose that allows you to stretch out the front of the body, stay where you are and breathe. As always, breathe. Very slowly begin to make your way out of this pose. Roll your way off of your blanket or bolster. Roll over to your favorite side and cradle your head as you come into fetal position. Have the spine gently rounded and relax. Our final pose is coming full circle back to Savasana. If you wish, you can come into supported Savasana like I'm doing here. Since you have your bolster or pillow handy, you can place it under your knees so that your knees are slightly bent. And if you like, you can also raise your feet slightly by placing blocks underneath. Roll that blanket under the neck would provide a nice cradle for the head as well. Once you've arrived onto your mat, allow yourself to sink deep and grow heavy. Let the entire body relax. Let all tensions flow off of you. Soften your facial features and allow your limbs to grow heavier still. And with calm, relaxed body and calm, relaxed mind, enjoy your Shavasana. Very slowly begin to make your way out of this pose. Bring sensations back to the body. Awaken it by moving your fingers, your toes, and rolling out your wrists and ankles. Perhaps let the head gently drop side to side. And when you are ready for that big stretch, with your inhale, reach the arms overhead, stretch long from toes to fingertips, and exhale to release. Perhaps one more hug of the knees into the chest. Give that a good roll out and massage for the low back. And when you are ready, come on back up, grab a comfortable seat. I thank you very much for joining me today. Namaste.